Well, g'day everybody. Hopefully you're getting this. We're a bit late today. Always hard to try and pick an exact time. It's the weekend. I hope you're having a good weekend. It's just after 5 here now, 5:15. I could have put this up starting about 3/4 of an hour ago, but I thought I'd wait until the 5 o'clock local time position here. Been a very busy day in Les Sables-d'Olonne. Been lots of Vendée boats arriving. I think 3 of the boats have arrived. And there's still a couple more out there trundling along. Sam Goodchild turned up, the English guy who missed out on a big opportunity because he had a problem with his mainsail. There's some really classic stories going on there, so all very exciting. Plus, I had some meetings this morning and a few other things that we had to do, like I won't bore you with the details. Anyway, we couldn't do the usual slot between 1 and 2, but we're happy to be here now, get this up. And let's see where we go. Hopefully you've got audio and all the rest of it, and it's all happening. So certainly the guys and girls are, I got to say, when I say guys, I don't mean just the blokes and forgetting about the women, okay? It's just my term of affection or endearment towards all the guys in the race, right? And so even though that may sound tricky, it's like they're all, I don't know, together. So that's why I keep correcting myself when I say all the guys, and the girls, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm old school, I suppose. So straight into the tracker, I think. There's some things to tell you, and I've put this will make you laugh. This is a chocolate wrapper, right? Because I eat these chocolate mints. These are my favorites, right? These things here, Anyway, and I have to remember something, and I quickly grabbed it, and so I didn't forget because I forgot it yesterday. So my chocolate wrapper is sitting on the keyboard just to remind me to bring up a really fascinating opportunity for any of the people out there that are watching this. There's a good volunteer spot coming up for one of the entrants that you might be able to help. Anyway, more of that in a minute. We'll go straight to the tracker, which is all very exciting, because I had a time to sit there today where I wasn't here. I was in the train coming back from the airport, long story, and I was watching the tracker and everything, and I saw it was actually Yanis Madursky, the designer, come up and put a post up and commenting, said, crikeys, they're flying, they're doing 130, 140 mile days. I got distracted. I didn't check the tracker, but I figure, yeah, they're doing that sort of stuff. And I just had a look a few minutes ago, and sure enough, we got, everyone's sort of really up the front here. They're hooting. So 134 mile day for Renaud, and Origami 137 mile day. This is pretty cool because 153 is the best they've had. We've seen on a 580, but that was sort of like a peak, and they're all getting consistently high average speeds up the front, which is good. The rest of the fleet's sort of starting to scatter a little bit back here. Some people are pushing forward, some people are holding their own, and so on. So if we just have a quick peek at quick peek at what the weather is doing, and it's holding exactly as we forecast, yesterday even. So we've got the Azores high just sitting there. That's what's going to happen going forward. It's going to be southeasterly, although it has actually, because if you remember the forecast over a couple of days ago when we were looking at this, the higher winds, the yellow areas, were actually extending out. They're not supposed to be getting what I call the calmer conditions, the greens, for another 2 or 3 days, but it looks like I'll just push this through a day while we're here. I've got a new temporary keyboard here, which should work. It is. Oh, beauty. Okay, so there's still a lot more green there now. If I push this forward, so this is tomorrow, about midday tomorrow, just after midday. You can see a lot more green in here than there was forecast. So whereas we were saying they're going to get 5 or 6 days of heavy stuff, 28, 30 knots, gusting higher, 3.5 meter, even 4 meter seas, that may be softening off in here, which will allow them, ironically, to maybe push a bit harder because the sea might not get there. Having said that, here we go. 26, 27, it's starting to pick up again. But I think overall, there's the 27. I think it's overall not as extreme as we had been thinking. So it's still not light winds. There's plenty of breeze there. So they will go fast. So that's through to the 27th, 2 days from now. So no surprises anyway. All very good sailing and quite settling, but fast, which is kind of cool. Okay, so let's just pick it up here and have a look at the tail enders here. So number 2, Jasmine, doing 4.8 knots, 98-mile day. She's got plenty of breeze there, so taking it steady, as she should be doing, not to make any mistakes. Popeye doing 121-mile day. That's pretty good. Knocking it up with the best of them up the front, so not losing ground, holding his own, but he's a fair way behind the rest of the fleet. Both of them are. So if we just give you a quick hit there and a quick hit over here, just to pick a generalization, 285 miles. So that's about 3 days. It's near, well, if we said up here with the leaders, is about, possibly even 4 days behind. So it's still in touch. The past halfway, I should have brought that up as well. You can see pretty much everyone now is past the halfway point, which is always a milestone when you're out there. Kind of nice to think of the fact that you're halfway there. And for us, it's funny, whenever I watch the race here, you forget the fact they've actually been out there for a couple of weeks. It feels like they've been out there for like a few days. But anyway, Jacob, 4.6 and we pushed up too far. 4.6 and 121-mile day. That's all very good. Anything around 120 miles a day is what they should be getting. That's what I call performance cruising at the moment, 120-mile days. Not sure what's going on with Argo. Argo seems to push ahead really strongly, and then all of a sudden, something's up and it slows down. So they're on 108 nautical miles. I haven't had a chance to go through everyone's posts on social media, see what's happening, but I haven't heard anything there, but I would have thought he'd be a bit faster than that. Certainly, Peter Punk, Pilo has pulled right away from Argo. They were side by side not that long ago, 135-mile day. So she's really putting on the hammer there and doing well. And you can see, in fact, as I say, sometimes the sea state can determine how fast you go, how it's settling in with the boat, how the boat's moving around, and that'll determine exactly how much sail area you can get up. But she's moved quite a bit further in the last 24 hours than Argo, 135 versus 108. So it took 20 miles out of him. Little Wren heading down a little bit, 5.2 knots, 114. That's good considering he's still not up to peak performance because of his ribs. John on Delja 100, 128-mile days. That's pretty good for him. That's nearly a 130-mile day. So Delja's John is definitely getting in the swing of things. He'd be happy with that. He's on the hunt. He's not trying to, the objective here is just not to fall behind. So when the other guys are doing 130, if you can try and hang on to them, that's a good thing. It's very challenging to try and catch up that distance, and again, just to give you an idea, from there to Renaud is 187 miles. That's going to take him, nearly, close to 2 days. So it's 2 days behind. So you can see between now and the finish, you'd have to take out, probably 15 mile a day, which is pretty impossible. But some boats make mistakes, slow down. You never know what's going to happen. So, but they're still in touch. Dan, the holiday man, is on 5.2, 117-mile day. That's looking all right. Nothing to be, embarrassed about that. As I say, 120 miles is good. Little B, 125-mile day, 5.8. So sitting on 5.8 at the moment, and Dan's on 5.2. John 4.7, so you can see some differences there. Biggest monkey. Now the last time I looked, he's pushing 139-mile day, and anyway, there he's doing 6 knots. So he's basically looking like one of the fastest in the fleet on the day. 6 and 137, 6 and 139. He's still taking it out of the 2 guys up the front. He's only got about 13 or 14 days to give it a go. So he's really, if he wants to win this, he's going to have to really go like crazy. But that's the biggest thing on his mind for the biggest monkey, for sure. So Kerry on Origami, as I say, 6 knots, 137, pretty cool. And he's taken out 3 miles on Renaud over the last 24 hours. In fact, I think that he's probably done pretty well, maybe even a little bit better than that. But they're still side by side. That's the bottom line. So it's anyone's guess here. But I've got to say, whereas Origami was holding consistently in the lead at the beginning, the first 10 days or so. Now Renaud is showing he's consistently in the lead, and Origami can't catch him. So it's going to be a race to the finish for any of these here. I don't know whether Little B is in the hunt or not, because of his issues there with his back and so on. But certainly he's not out of the picture. In fact, I would say, if I based it on performance, even though Little B and Dan's got a back problem, this is the lead. I'd call these the lead pack here. I'd say Peter Punk, Little B, Biggest Monkey, Origami, and Renaud. The winner is going to be somewhere here, I reckon. That's my prediction at the moment. So, and it's not, I'm not, don't have to think too hard about that. It's pretty obvious, that these 5 are potentially the lead pack. They're the ones that are going to show the show us who's got what it takes to win the Transat. And if we come and look at the leaderboard, we'll get an eye on potential ETAs again. Pretty frightening, really, because Renaud is looking like sometime early on the 3rd. Now, if I had to say, oh yeah, that won't happen, he's going to be a bit slower than that, I think he'll probably come there late on the 3rd, maybe early on the 4th. So it's looking very much like that we may not be there. Anyway, but Earthen's there. Same with Origami. We'll have to see what happens, but they're both flying and making good daily averages, and the weather's going to support that for some time. So as long as they don't break anything, touch wood, they're looking pretty good. Little B there on the 4th. So there's the first 4 that, the first 3 or 4 could be in there before we get there. Ooh, we'll see. Peter Punk, they're all very close indeed. Then Little Ran, Argo, Belgia 100, and if we go right down the bottom here, number 2, still holding it, Jasmine and Popeye holding on the 10th, and the others on the 6th. So having a good time. That's the other thing. It's pretty clear from what we're seeing from the social media reports. They've all settled in. They're all enjoying their boats. Some are getting a bit wet, and they're having to work. It's not just sit back and do nothing. They're having to work, and all is looking good. We'll just have a quick peek at the sea state, just to see if it's still pretty high, which I reckon it will be. The waves should be a light purple. Yeah, there we go, solid purple. So, yeah, still big seas. There's a bit of confusion up there. That's interesting. You can see this graphic actually shows you where there's a transition, maybe with the currents. Let's just see here. Yeah, that's interesting, because the wind and the current's the same. But anyway, that's probably half a knot there. So some of that timeline is the current, which is cool. Oh, jeepers, what I meant to do. That's something else I forgot. I was going to show you where the rowers are. Now, I don't want to go back. I'll remind myself about the rowers, and we'll look at the rowers tomorrow to see exactly where they are. But I'm pretty confident we're not interacting with any of the tail enders even yet. That might happen in the next couple of days. So, but there's the currents, and as far as cloud cover goes, we've got, there's not a lot of sunshine there. There's a little bit down here, but it's pretty grey, 3-4 metre seas. Temperature will still be quite mild, in fact quite warm. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's quite warm. It's in the high 20s, starting to get mid-high 20s now, as soon as you get this darker stuff. So they'll be hot soon down below, and saying, oh, I wish it was colder. Anyway, that's all good. So I think I've given you everything I can there. Let's come back here and just see what's happening on the side. No big extras today. Okay, so what's the reminder here with the chocolate wrapper? Okay, Adam on Little B is looking for someone to help him deliver his social media. In other words, Adam will put out information about what's happening on board, and he'll be sending photos occasionally as well, and he'll make phone calls to his social media manager to tell him what's going on. And he's really looking for someone that's familiar with all forms of social media that might be able to spread the word on their existing accounts. At the moment, his wife is his manager, and she's really busy with stuff. she's been trying to keep up with it, but there's a few things going on. So if you've got an inkling that you'd like to try and help one of the entrants to pick up and help them with their social media every other day or something like that, and do it as a volunteer, he would be very happy to talk to you about it, or certainly his wife would as well, the manager at the moment. And we've got actually a few boats. Their managers aren't proficient in social media, which shows, and we're not getting it, much of it, but we know they're safe and we're getting bits and pieces. So that's an opportunity even for some of those that aren't getting a lot up, because pretty much everyone bar Niels is going through to the mini globe race, and that's kind of fun. If you've got time, if you're retired or you know what's going on and you want to try and help, then maybe you can even put a comment in here. Put a comment here, and we'll pick up on it, and the managers will see that. And certainly, Adam would be very happy to have someone on. Oh, sorry. Now, is it? Yeah, it's Adam. No, did I say little? I think I said little B. No, it's Adam on Little Wren. Okay, so Adam on Little Wren is looking for someone to give him a hand to, produce his social media, which is pretty simple, and it could be fun. So think about that. Okay, that's that one. And I cross my fingers. I will remember to get the map up to show you where the rowers are, because they're all starting to come in. That's the world's toughest row. They're all starting to come in now. So it's all the bigger teams are the faster boats. Okay, so where are we going here? Aero Nortec, BC. Hello, Aero Nortec. You must be a flyer with a handle like that. Anyway, g'day, John. Finally caught you live. Oh, good on you, Timu. Kylie, g'day. Kylie, eyes pink, heart shape. Huh? Is this me? This is Jade giving eyes pink, heart shape. Okay, not sure what that means yet. Maybe she likes me tonight. Yeah. Hi, Don. Has Pila managed to replace the A3? I think that there was I haven't spoken to him about it particularly, but there's a strategic plan in place. They're going to take an A3 from an existing Spanish boat here in Spain, and I think someone's going to fly it across. So it's there, and then she's got to try and replace it. But I haven't heard the latest on whether she's raised enough money to continue on, but there was that plan. So they found one that they can get in time and bring it to Antigua. So fingers crossed. I think it might be the boat weight that might be making the difference up front. Could be, but they're both pretty light. And if anything, I would have to say that Origami is probably lighter than Renaud. Renaud's not heavy, but I've seen both of them and I know what they got. And I would say that Origami is maybe a little bit lighter than Renaud. I'm not sure. Certainly, I think it'll be affecting some of the ones at the back. I know Jacob, great guy, great boat, everything on it, and his boat is absolutely heavier than Origami and Renaud. Anyway, that's relevant. Timu, how much does the sea state affect their speed? Well, it's obviously has an impact. If it's flat calm, you can do a lot more. So it's managing the boat, and yes, it does have an impact if the sea can either be favourable or not so favourable. And is it more the wind waves than the swell? Both. The swell's pretty easy. If it's hills and valleys and perfectly calm, just ups and downs that way, I mean. It's not so much, but the waves are the thing that knock the boat around and move it around. And I've understood that the wind waves would have a sharper motion. Yeah, obviously, a wave that's just generated by the wind, they're smaller and closer sequence. Most of the swells are about 8 or say 8 to 11 second sequence. You can see that on the windy forecasting platform. That'll give you the time between the swells, which is a way of seeing how comfortable it's going to be. Warship, g'day. My personal daily race is too often unsuccessfully to catch Don live, but you can't expect him to dedicate his whole life to this regatta. Yeah, you're right. It's a bit tricky. I was feeling for everyone. I thought, everyone will be missing me because it's. I don't set the exact date, but I try to do it after the 1 o'clock position, between 1 and 2. But I had a few unscheduled appointments today that I had to do, so that's always part of the course. So thanks for that. Glad not to be on Anamoco entering the Bay of Biscay. Jeepers, there was some strange weather up there. And even this morning, the first woman who's doing an amazing job, she's not in a fast boat, and she's just been flying, and so she's the first one in. Crikey's now forgotten her name. She's quite something, and she's gone through the ranks. And the first time she did the Transat, she came second, I think, and that was in 2016, I think. And then she went through others and got into an Amoka and all the trial races that she's been doing, which is quite a few. And so on in Amoka, she was always in the top 8, I think. And then, I think it was, and then now she sort of bundles into her first Vendée Globe, and she really nailed it. It's quite impressive. But anyway, this morning she was stuck in the hole, only doing a couple of knots, where the boat behind her, not far away, 20 miles away, was doing like 11 knots. And anyway, she's done really well. So first, and not in a perfect boat. So if she gets in a hot boat next time, watch this space. But anyway, okay, I digress. Justine, yeah, cool. That's it. Yeah. So quite impressive. She's a real muscle woman. You just get this impression that she's got everything that you need. She's smart. She's a good sailor. She's got the power. Because you look at Violet, and she's a bit the same, but she's a lot smaller. And you don't, with all due respect to Violet, otherwise I get bombed with comments. But Justine is just up there. But anyway, that's cool. I thought we were just about to the end there. I see some drop in here. Glad Justine. Marek, any chance to track the 4 guys joining in Antigua already? How do they qualify for the MGR? One just left. Eric just left. He's on his way. They've got their own systems. We actually get them to, because they're not actually part of the event yet, so we don't actually monitor them safety-wise. We just make sure that their qualifying voyage is approved, right? And they're doing their own thing. So they do. We have a link to their private trackers, and they do their own thing there. And then after that, we'll put them up on the MGR. So we've got 2 sailing down from America. One out of Cape Canaveral, left today. He sent me a message to say he's on his way. And then is it Josh? Yeah, Josh is leaving on the 28th, so in 3 days or so. And then but there was Gary Swindle from Australia. He's still waiting for his boat. His boat hasn't turned up in Antigua yet, so he's got some timeline challenges there. He's got to assemble it, and then he's never been assembled, never been in the water before. So he's got to do that. He's a very good sailor. So once he's done that, then he'll get ready and get off on his qualifier. But it's going to be very tight because there's a very critical date there. 17th of February, we have a safety briefing. And if you don't do the safety briefing, you don't do the MGR. So he needs to make sure he's done his 750 miles and be back in time to get that safety briefing, or do the safety briefing and then take off and do the qualifier and miss the start or something like that. It's going to be a bit tricky, but I'm sure he'll work it out. And so, yeah, we don't put them up on the tracker here at the moment. We got to only get them on the tracker once we take control of their YB3, and we don't really want to do that at the moment. So, but I'll keep an eye on it and just tell you what's going on. Oh, g'day, Ray. Happy to volunteer with social media. Okay, so yeah, if anyone's up for volunteering, we'll check that here and get you in touch with Adam's wife, Kerry. I think it is. It's spelled differently than Kerry on origami, and see if we can get something happening. That'd be cool. All right, that's it. So just a quick one, but yeah, they're really flying. They'll have some great stories. I hope they're getting lots of good footage and all those sorts of things. Oh, we'll put the next onboard footage up right after this. So the next half an hour, keep an eye on it, and you'll see the next onboard footage from someone. I forget who it'll be, but anyway, that's coming up in a minute. Okay, thanks a lot. And anything else I've forgotten? I don't think so. Okay, see you later. Oh, hang on, got to get out this way. That one. Cool.
Witness history in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025.
Nope, not working.
Small boat, huge adventure.